Careview slasher himself, Mr. William Rossum. Well, he doesn't do too well with the normal activities. As you can tell, he's a bit of a psychopath. When he doesn't have that mask on, it's like his confidence is gone. It's like a fish out of water. He just doesn't know what to do. And with the mask on, he just snaps into a confident, cocky, just perfectionist. He just he butchers people. Is what he does.
Slasher was basically my response to all the slasher films. I've always been a huge fan of slasher films, and it was when I was watching the remake of Friday the 13th. I kept thinking, what's got to be going through Jason's head in that scene? And I started thinking, there really hasn't been the slasher film directly from the point of view of the slasher. And so it was from that I started kind of fleshing out an idea of telling a story from the point of view of a slasher. I wanted to kind of have that serial killer that was obsessed with slasher films and felt that life was a slasher film, and if life was a slasher film, he was going to be the star. Thus, slasher was born.
Most of the movies that I find enjoyable when they come to horror movies are killers with a personality. That was one thing that kind of drew me to the slasher, is you get a lot of insight into him. And I think that's what draws me to the movies. That's what makes them more entertaining for me, is when you can know a little bit about the killer has a little bit of dialogue in some way, shape, or form. I like to have a killer that has personality.
Zack, Daggy, author of Slasher, sent an email to us, said he needed a design for a mask, sent over some pictures for a concept he had. I basically took them, adapted them to my vision, and produced a slasher mask. We started out from a basic white ski mask that you would find at any department store. Widened the eyes a bit, took a slit out of the mouth, widened that, sewed it up with some yarn, sewed it up with some white string, and dirtied it up with some spray paint, some charcoal, some black paint, various other things that add texture, dotted some blood on there, and that was the slasher mask.
And then when I started putting together a series of short stories for my novel Dark Worlds Project 31, I decided to incorporate this story into it because there's a character introduced in this short by the name of Allison Smith. And I really dug this character, and I felt that this was a character I could make basically the villain of this novel. So basically I decided that to introduce her, I'd go ahead and incorporate this story.
Well, I'm very excited about my character in Slasher. I play Allison Smith, and when I first read it about her, I really liked her character. I think she's very different. She has a bit of a dark side to her, which everyone will find out. Just looking at her, she seems like your average kind of girl that's maybe looking for answers and trying to find herself, but what I really love about her is she knows exactly who she is. And she's really someone that I think people are going to fall in love with.
My character, I guess she's just a typical 20-something who didn't think she was going to be slaughtered tonight.
Fair enough. Looked a little slaughtered.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, just a little bit.
My character is the slasher's mother. I have a brief little cameo appearance in this film. There's a lot to Rebecca. We don't really hit on it in this one, but she's a big reason why the slasher is the slasher.